checking out one of the most popular all-inclusives for adults in Jamaica, Excellence Oyster Bay. We're going to break it all down like we always do, from the beaches, the food, the rooms, the pools, the entertainment, everything you would want to know to see if Excellence Oyster Bay should be on your list to try out. Now, this resort really did impress us, but as always with these all-inclusive resorts, it's very hard to find that perfect one. There's going to be some negatives, so stay tuned as we break it all down. What's up, you guys, and welcome back. If you're new, my name is Heather, and I love sharing all-inclusive resort reviews with you. I am also a hairstylist, and my husband is a travel advisor. We have 3 kids, and we love bringing these videos to you, hoping to help you find the best resort possible for you and your family. Sometimes these resorts are good and sometimes they're not so good. So we're here to help you guys get the most bang for your buck, where to spend your hard-earned money, show you the good, the bad, all the ins and outs of the resort. So if that sounds like your type of video, then stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, give us a comment, and if you need any help with your travels, definitely hit us up. Our links are down below in the description box of how to get a hold of us. So let's jump into this video. A few little fun facts about Excellence Oyster Bay. It was only built in 2018, so it is a relatively new resort in Jamaica. It sits on its own private peninsula, and it's great for long walks. And even though this property looks massive, it's really not. There's only around 320 rooms. And another positive, it's only about 25 minutes from the airport. Now, this is up for one of the top resorts in Jamaica, along with Sandals Dunn's River, where we just came from. If you are interested in watching that review, check out the last video. But there are some similarities between these 2 resorts for sure, but there's some differences. One being price point. Excellence is such a better price point than Sandals Dunn's River, but does it match the quality that Sandals Dunn's River had? I will touch on that later, but for now, let's talk about what you do when you arrive in Jamaica. After grabbing your bags, you're going to walk to this area where there is a bunch of different lounges for different resorts. Now, Excellence does not have a lounge. They just have a little desk right here, but your transportation is included, which is always nice because that's not the case with a lot of these resorts. You typically have to pay extra. But after a 25-minute ride, we were at our resort. They first brought us up to the main lobby where they gave us a cold towel and some champagne. Then they whisked us away in this cute little golf cart. All their golf carts were decorated like this, over to the club lounge. Our room was a club room, so we had to go to that dedicated lounge. On our way, they did share a lot of information about the resort, which was nice. The check-in process was not long at all. We went ahead and changed into our bathing suits. They held our luggage since our room was not ready, and we started exploring the resort. We walked past this beautiful bride as soon as we were walking to the pool. We met the man in the boat. Super friendly and not pushy at all. I ended up buying a little turtle from him. And we headed to the pool, and when we got there, we were greeted with the shot cart. The blue. I'll try the blue. Yeah.
Just one.
One, that's for you? Why? Jamaica.
My husband's a fuddy-dud when it comes to shots, but since we needed to have something in our stomachs to have a good time, so we ran up to the lobster house right above the pool to grab some food, waited for almost an hour, but it was pretty tasty. This was definitely our first and last visit here, just because it took so long.
Where are you guys coming from? Texas.
Houston, Dallas?
No, real Texas.
So after lunch, we got word that our room was ready. But before I show you that, let's talk about the beach, you guys, because I know this is pretty much everybody's #1 priority, or most people's priority, when choosing an all-inclusive resort. And at first, when you look at this, it's like, where is the beach? Like, where do you walk? Well, it's a very narrow beach, but it's long. And they do have some seagrass. However, it was absolutely gorgeous, as you can see in these videos. They do have certain areas where there's less seagrass than others, and if you stay kind of right out front of the main building, it's super clear, tons of marine life. We'll show you in just a second. And the waters were calm. Give me a calm beach any day. That is my thing. I don't want rough waves. So it's great for kayaking. They do have this area where you can do all those activities for free included, but if you do want to get on this boat right here and go out and snorkel, it is at a small cost. I believe it was like 50-60 bucks per person. But we wanted to walk all the way down past the resort to see what else was going on.
Did he pinch you?
And my husband always finds a way to get himself into trouble. But back talking about the seagrass, they do have multiple areas where they've cut out little channels where you can go out in the ocean, snorkel. My husband did this multiple times. As you can see, we've seen an eagle ray. I think this is an eagle ray. I'm probably going to get, hated on in the comments if it's not. But it's a ray of some sort. Super neat to see. So having the seagrass definitely helps see some aquatic life out here. And there's areas where you can still venture out in the ocean. But if you have seagrass phobia and you don't want it touching you, then head over to the Zenith Club area right out front. There's hardly any seagrass right here. But overall, we really enjoyed this beach. We loved walking through it. It just felt not so man-made, and it felt more natural to me. Even though the beach wasn't, super wide, it was still beautiful. They did have a fun swing where you could come take some photos right in front of the Excellence Club bar. And in the Excellence Club, they do have sunscreen, bug sprays, just little helpful things like that so you don't have to run back to your room always. And another thing, the Bali beds are completely free. You don't have to pay for these, and there's plenty of them. You're not going to be fighting for chairs here.
Ready.
How much do you need?
All right.
And if you're craving a coconut, there are workers here that will go and get you a coconut. I also wanted to just shout from the rooftop, there is zero chair game here, okay? Zero. This was at like almost 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and there are no towels saved on chairs. So you weren't having to go down at 7 o'clock in the morning and put your stuff down to make sure you got a good spot. You don't have to worry about that here, which I think is, oh my gosh, a huge selling point for a lot of people if you've played that chair game before. Now let's talk about the room. We booked a beach house suite, which is right on the ocean front. When I went online to book, I was really wanting the bottom floor room, which runs a little bit higher than the top floor, but they didn't have any availabilities. And when we got our room, I was a little bummed with the location. However, I ended up loving the location and loving being on the second floor. I'm so glad we did not get the bottom room. The views are insane up here, as I'll show in just a minute, but when you walk in, it's more open concept. I mean, there's a little separation between the bathroom, but not much. So just keep that in mind if you don't love an open concept room. Even though it looks a little dated, in my opinion, that's just, I guess, the vibe that we were going for with the decor and the dark wood. It was very spacious. I mean, look at this closet. Really quick, I want to apologize with the lighting. I should have closed the blinds so you could really see the coloring of everything without the bright lights. I am also investing in a better vlogging camera, so my next few videos should look much better. Now, getting back to the room, I will say the photos online make it look a lot more luxurious than what it honestly looks like, but it does have some nice features to it. I mean, like this bathtub that has the view looking out over the pool, and you can kind of see the ocean there. I don't know when the last time they updated or renovated these rooms. It was built in 2018, so maybe they haven't done anything at all. So there's definitely some flaws to it. But it was clean. It was stocked. You'd get some goodies in your fridge, which I appreciated. And when we're looking at the overall pricing for this particular room, being on the ocean front with a plunge pool, a soaking tub, an open concept room that's got some nice square footage, it's a pretty good deal for what you're getting. Is it outdated just a pinch? Yes, but you can't really beat this price for everything that it includes. I loved this plunge pool. We got in it several times. We loved sitting out on the balcony, hearing the ocean. This is a room that's very unique with how close it is to the ocean.
I will say we will not be sitting on this couch because this looks crusty, dusty, and old. It's ripped. There's stains on the couch. So we're going to inspect this room a little closer just by looking at this couch. But everything seems okay other than that. We're gonna dig into that bed and make sure too, because you just, better safe than sorry.
And after a pretty thorough inspection, everything was fine, especially with the bed. The housekeeping we had was incredible. They decorated for us with it being my birthday, and they came twice a day and made sure everything was nice and tidy. Definitely take care of them when you come here. Now, my husband loves flying his drone, so we wanted to show y'all a few other room categories. We're still on the Excellence Club side. Behind the beach houses is where you're going to find your junior suites with the garden view, your private pool suites, and at the top there are some plunge pool suites. And as we get over to the main pool, this is the non-Excellence Club side and what the view kind of looks like from those room categories as well. We also flew it over to the villas. These rooms look fabulous, but they run very high. So we did not choose to stay in the villas, but they do come with their own private pool. You get a actual butler and just a house basically on the beach. So I do love all the different type of rooms that you can get here at Excellence Oyster Bay. Okay, Excellence. It is 2025. Y'all need to invest in some wristbands for room keys. I had to walk all the way back because the room key they gave us stopped working. It's 11 o'clock at night. We just got out of the shows. Now let's move on to some pools. This is the main pool. If you are not staying in an Excellence Club room, these are the pools that you will have access to. The Excellence Club pools I'll show in just a bit, but I loved the pool setup here. I loved how close it was to the ocean. They even feature a rooftop pool. Plenty of seating. Like I mentioned before about the chair game, it's not here. I don't see how it could be here because we were staying when it was at full capacity and we never felt like it was crowded around the pools. I do wish they had more than just one swim-up bar because it kind of got a little crowded, but for the actual size of the resort, one swim-up bar is what you're going to find at most smaller resorts. Have to cut the music so I don't get a copyright strike, but the entertainment, the guys around the pool did a great job. As you can see, it's just not very busy, and they still managed to provide us with great entertainment. They had some fun little games outside the pool. I just loved getting to talk with these guys. They were the best. I want to shout them out. CJ and Tomato, you really made our experience that much better just with you being around the pools. Now let's talk about the quiet pool. It is on the opposite side from where the swim-up bar is, so it's not exactly 100% quiet. You can still hear the music from the other side since it's not very far. There was never really anybody over here. I do like that they do have a separate space to where it's not too loud if you want to take a little nap. And any resort that features a rooftop infinity pool, A+, because it was absolutely beautiful coming up here. Just a quick walk up the stairs. They had a bar up here. And it was honestly never very busy. I think because other than just this bar area, there was no real covered seating and it was a tiny bit windy up here. But we did like to come up here just to get some great views. Of course, take some pictures and just get a really good view of the ocean and pool scene. Now let's talk about the Excellence Club pools and areas so you can see if it's worth upgrading to an Excellence Club room. This is where the Excellence Club lobby is and the Magna restaurant, so I called it the Magna Pool. Very quiet. There was one day where people brought speakers. I don't know if that's allowed or not, but it didn't bother us. You do get some nice views of the lagoon, and sometimes they would have catamarans and stuff coming through here, but we just really didn't hang out here very much because we just enjoyed the pool scene over at the main pool. And if you're looking for extra quiet, like no music, no talking, that would be over at the Zenith, I'm not sure how you say it, pool. That's closer to the villas. And it's a really neat walk. As you can see, as you get closer, it says Excellence Club members only. I don't know how well they make sure you're not Excellence Club if you come over here. No one ever asked for our room number at the bar or when they served us a drink. No one was really checking. So I feel like I'm not giving you this advice, but if you don't book an Excellence Club room, you probably still could access this, which probably makes some of the people kind of upset. But it is what it is, Don't be too serious on vacation, you guys. Let's talk about some drinks. I'm going to keep this short, sweet, and to the point. We loved the drinks. We are not super picky on our alcohol. Sometimes my husband is with his rum, but I'm not really. So I love the drinks. Our favorite spot to grab drinks was at the Excellence Club bar, right by the ocean, by the cute little swing out in the ocean. I just felt like they were made a little bit better here versus the pool bar. I feel like leading up to this point, everything's been pretty positive for the most part. So this is where it takes a little bit of a turn. I loved the breakfast. Let's start out with breakfast and we'll move on to lunch and dinner options. The breakfast buffet I wish was open during lunch and dinner because it was that good. So fresh, so many options, no complaints whatsoever. You would think an omelet pretty much tastes the same at every resort, but something was different about their omelets here and I really enjoyed them. And if you're not a big breakfast person, they have a coffee shop with a few little grab and go bites. I love the coffee here, probably one of the best lattes I've had yet at a resort. And that's saying something because you know I go to my fair share of resorts. They had freshly squeezed juices, fruits, sandwiches. It's just a great spot to come in, get out of the sun, have a quick snack during the day as well. Now let's talk about where you can find some lunch at this place. They've got 2 restaurants right above the pool that they alternate opening. This was at Oregano. I preferred this restaurant versus the one on the other side. It was pretty good. It just takes forever setting up here. And I guess we're just not the people that want to sit and wait an hour when we're eating for lunch. Some people may want to slow down and enjoy the process. Us, not so much. Over on the other side at the Lobster House, I didn't think the food was amazing here. It was okay. It just wasn't my favorite. My favorite was honestly ordering from the staff on the beach and just getting a quick bar menu food like quesadillas, nachos, hamburgers. Right over here, I forgot to film it, they do have a jerk chicken and hamburger shack, I guess is what it's called, with some vegetables that you can get. Very, very good as well. That was definitely my favorite for lunch. And then we went over here to the Jamaican restaurant and tried it for lunch on our last day. And I actually thought this was the best lunch restaurant-wise out of any of the options. Another thing we just did not love is having to get on an app to order everything, to look at menus. But I wanted to show you the process, what you got to do when you go to these restaurants. You have to break out your phone, you have to click the menu button and see what's on the menu. They have no handheld menus that I saw anywhere on the resort. Moving on to the dinners that we particularly chose. Again, nothing overly impressed us for dinners, which is kind of a letdown because dinners are exciting thing for people at all-inclusive resorts. You get all dressed up, you go to these nice places, and then the food's just kind of a letdown. So we ended up going to the bar, the sports bar, which was totally dead, and ordering like bar food a couple of times after our dinners because it just wasn't that great. We weren't satisfied, I guess. Food is just a very subjective thing. Everybody has different taste buds, so take it with a grain of salt. Some people may come here and love the food. For me, when we're talking about it as a whole, it just was more average to good. Nothing just over impressed me here. Spice was probably, if you want to say a favorite, this was our favorite spot for dinner. We did sit down at the tables and ordered sushi, and then we also went to the hibachi tables on our last night. And it was pretty good. Not the best that I've had, but it was definitely the best dinner we had at this resort. The French restaurant was the biggest letdown for us. Like the French onion soup that we love. The service was so slow. And the portions, you guys, even if I enjoyed this meal, which I didn't, look how small that is. Like little tiny, tiny portions. There's no way you could get full. I guess you could order multiple entrees, but not our favorite. Of course, hibachi. What's not to love about hibachi? Hibachi's pretty much good at every resort we've ever been to. So I'm not really going to complain about it. As far as the club dinners that you get at the Zenith and the Magna, nothing even stood out to us, so we didn't even bother going to those. So I don't think club is necessarily 100% worth it, to each their own on that. Of course, you can order room service. It was okay, just average. And now let's talk about entertainment. We're moving on very quickly. You can check it, of course, on the app, break out your phone, see everything that's going on. But this is not a party resort. It's more chill. They had some nightlife, but nothing super crazy entertaining. The silent disco night was definitely my favorite night. The entertainment was great here. I did notice they were remodeling their stage, so maybe it's a little bit better since they had to push everything out to the patio. I would just say the entertainment at night was average, but not a lot of people choose a resort for the nightly entertainment, so take it what you will. The spa, little disappointing when we booked our massage because we could not partake in the hydrotherapy. It was getting remodeled. But the massages were amazing and they were somewhat reasonable. They're still kind of expensive at these resorts though. Very nice gym for all you gym rats who got to get your workout on. They did have some classes as well as free weights, machines, pretty much anything you could need and want in a gym. They had it here. They did have a very nice gift shop with reasonable prices right outside the front of the main lobby. And we did decide to do a last-minute excursion. We've done a lot here, so we just didn't want to take a full day doing anything, which this is the perfect excursion if you want to just take a quick hour or two. We went early in the morning. This was 15 minutes from our resort, rafting on Martha's Bay. We absolutely loved this excursion. Got a lot of history from our guide, and we were back by lunchtime to enjoy a cocktail and some free food. So we didn't have to pay for anything off the resort. So this was a quick trip, 4 nights, 5 days. Absolutely loved our time here at Excellence Oyster Bay. Was it perfect? No. Was it 5-star luxury? No. But we really enjoyed our time here. Loved our room, loved the beaches. Food, meh, but we're not big foodies, so that's not a big deal to us. But for the price and experience, we thought it was a great deal. In comparing it to Sandals Dunn's River, which is competing for the top spot for adults only in Jamaica against Excellence, we almost still preferred Excellence. Because of the price point, Sandals Dunn's River is very expensive. I mean, the base room at Sandals Dunn's River gets you almost the beach house suite that we had. However, there were some features at Sandals Dunn's that we loved. The food, so much better over at Sandals Dunn's. So if you're a foodie, that may be important to you. I also liked the layout of the infinity pools over at Sandals. However, the beach was super small and it was very hard to find chairs. So you had to play the chair game, which I always hate doing. So definitely check out that video of Sandals Dunn's River if you have not seen it yet, and you can compare it to Excellence if you are looking at those two resorts and decide which one is right for you. Highly recommend doing Club Mo Bay on your departure. Free food and drinks in the airport with a waiting lounge. Glad we did that. So I hope you did enjoy this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. So if you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and just remember, we can book anywhere you want to go, whether it's international or domestic, cruises, all the things we can do for you guys. So definitely hit us up. We try to find the very best prices for you guys. No price gouging, upcharging like some other TAs do. Just a small business that me and my husband have started. You can check out our Facebook page also. We share weekly deals. We also share real client reviews with their photos from their vacations and their feedback. Thank you guys so much for watching this channel and supporting me and my husband and my little family. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a great week, and I can't wait to share the next video with you.